Hi, my name is Leah, and I'm a reference librarian at the Fayetteville Public Library. And today I wanted to talk to you about using OverDrive and Libby. Those are two of the digital book borrowing apps that we offer here at the library. You can read ebooks and listen to audiobooks through these apps. And I've got a PowerPoint ready to show you how you get started with these apps. So using OverDrive and Libby. What is it? So this service allows you to borrow ebooks and e-audiobooks that are owned by the Fayetteville Public Library. One thing I really like about this platform is that you don't have to create an account. All you do is use your existing library card number and your PIN, which is usually the last 4 digits of your telephone number. And you can borrow up to 5 items at a time. So that's pretty nice too. You can enjoy many titles online immediately. You can download them to your device for offline use, and you can even send borrowed ebooks to a Kindle device. And if you're on a computer, you can transfer titles to compatible e-readers or MP3 players. You basically download the files that you've checked out to your computer and then just scoot them on over to whatever device you want to use. So there's a whole lot of options in different devices that you can get your ebooks and audiobooks on through OverDrive and Libby. And if a title is checked out, you can add your name to a waiting list. It's pretty much the same process of with a physical book here in the library. We only have a certain amount of copies of a particular book, but if it's out, you can put your name on a waiting list and we'll let you know when it's ready for you. And the books get returned automatically. When you check out, you're given the option of a 7-day checkout or a 14-day checkout. And once that time is up, the item is automatically returned for you. So you don't have to try and remember to return something by the due date, and there's no overdue fees. So that's really neat. You can also return items early if you want to, and that'll give you another spot on your list of 5 to be able to check something else out. So one question we get asked a lot is, why are there 2 apps? I know this is a touch confusing. The original app was OverDrive. And then a few years ago, OverDrive created the Libby app, which makes signing in with your library card much easier, but they kept the OverDrive app too. So rather than updating the OverDrive app, they just created a whole new app called Libby. They do continue to update the OverDrive app because Libby is not available for all devices. So if you're searching for Libby in the App Store and you can't find it, try OverDrive instead. One device I know that Libby is not available on right now anyway is a Kindle Fire. And then sometimes older devices as well. Libby doesn't show up as an option and you can still go with OverDrive instead. But both apps have the exact same content, the ebooks and audiobooks that are curated by Fayetteville Public Library librarians. So to get there, you'll start at the library's website, which is faylib.org, faylib.org, and you'll hover your mouse over Browse, which is there on that top menu bar, and then select ebooks and more. And so if you are looking for Libby or looking for OverDrive, Libby allows you to download the app right from that screen. You can click on Get on iOS or Get on Android. If you click on that OverDrive link, it's going to take you to the OverDrive website. And this is what the OverDrive website looks like. You'll see it has collections there on the home screen. It's usually curated. If you were to scroll down, it has like new purchases. This one was new hobbies to take up in 2020. You can also do a search or browse. There's lots of different ways to look at content. So if you are wanting to download the OverDrive app, you're just going to go to your app store. So that might be the Apple App Store, Google Play, the Amazon App Store, the Google Chrome website store, the Windows Store, whatever it is on your device, and you're going to download the OverDrive app. And then you'll sign in with your library card number and your PIN. I think some of these, when you download the app, it's going to give you the option to sign in with OverDrive or with Facebook. You don't need to do that. You don't need to create any sort of an account or connect it to your social media. Just go ahead and sign in with your library card number and your PIN. And the app is going to open up to your bookshelf. And so when you're ready to get a book checked out, you will tap on Add a Title. And once there, you'll be asked to sign in again. That was one of the things that Libby was trying to eliminate, was the multiple sign-ins. So that is just a little touch clunky on the OverDrive app, but you can check a box that says remember my card number on this device, and it won't ask you to do that in the future. So now you'll be able to check out ebooks, audiobooks, and place holds. And the books that you check out will be put on your shelf, and you can get back to them. You close the app, go about your day, and you want to get back to reading later on, you'll just open up OverDrive again, navigate to your bookshelf, and they'll be there for you. So getting started in Libby is just a little bit different. You'll go to the App Store and search for Libby. And once you download it, you'll be asked if you have a library card. And then the app will ask you to find your library. And it's a little bit different. It'll ask you to put in your zip code. I know I've done it here at the library with a whole bunch of people. We'll put in, you know, your location is on, or you'll put in 7201 and it'll say that it's some library that's not the Fayetteville Public Library. So you sometimes have to do a little bit of searching, but you'll want to make sure that you get the right library selected, because otherwise your card won't work when you go to sign in. And then the next thing it asks you is if you're mostly going to read on Kindle or if you're going to read on Libby. If you read on Kindle, that means you're mostly using that app to check books out, but then you're sending them to a separate app or a separate device to actually read them. If you select Libby, that means you want to read within the app. That's what I usually recommend for folks, just because it does sometimes get a little bit challenging to navigate between apps. So reading in Libby is a good experience, I think. So that's usually the more streamlined way to go that I'll recommend for people. And then that's the point where it's going to ask you to enter your library card number and your PIN. And then you're going to be routed to browse through Library to Go. And the searching and browsing that we talked about a minute ago works the same here as it does in the OverDrive app. And it's a little bit easier to get to your bookshelf in Libby. You'll see the bookshelf button at the bottom of the page. And if you tap Preferences, you'll see options for other formats, languages, audiences, compatibility, availability. There's all sorts of really neat filtering options. And by tapping the Libby logo in the top right-hand corner, it'll give you help from right there inside the app. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so searching in the app or online, you can set up your content preferences by opening the menu and then selecting Settings under My Account. And so that's where you can select what audience you want. So if it's yours and you know you're just mostly like to read adult focused books, you can select that and it'll filter out the other things for you. You can switch it to high contrast mode or dyslexic font, or turn on your history, turn on automatic hold. There's all sorts of options in there. And then you can also browse by suggestions on the homepage, like we talked about before. Subject, you can search by title, you can search by author, keyword. And once you've done a search, you can filter by availability, audience, date added, all sorts of options. Those are going to be on the left-hand sidebar. And we often suggest browsing rather than searching. We're not able to purchase an electronic copy of every book held in the library, and popular books tend to have a long holds list. So if you want something to read right now, it might be best to just browse and limit by books that are currently available. So this is what the browse subject screen looks like. This is a screenshot, so I can't scroll on it, but you'll see there's lots of different headings and subheadings for fiction and nonfiction genres. So that's a really fun way to browse. And then the collections tab also narrows things down for you, mostly by audience and then by available now. So that's a neat thing to do if you're wanting to read something right at this moment. You can also choose most popular, or if you want to, you can choose to try something different. So lots of good things within that. So once you've checked something out to read or listen in the app, so you pick something out, you tap the borrow button. It's a big green button, nice and obvious, and you're going to get asked about the format. It's a tricky question, but you'll want to choose whatever applies to you. So the EPUB books, OverDrive, Libby books, those are things that you can read right there within the app. If you do select Kindle on an ebook, that's going to send it out into another app, either into the Kindle app on the same device you're holding in your hands. You can send stuff to your Kindle e-reader. That's going to send it where you can't read it within the OverDrive or the Libby app anymore. And then you can view and read your books through the bookshelf. And to get there, you'll use the menu in the top left corner of the app and select bookshelf. And you can download to read offline from here too. That's something that's really helpful, especially for audiobooks. If you want to listen to it in the car while you're driving, it's good to have it downloaded to your device for streamless playback. And then if you need to return a title early, you just tap and hold. Okay, so checking out a Kindle book is just a little bit different. What you're going to want to do, typically the easiest way is to use OverDrive, the website, from your computer. And so to get there, like we talked about way at the beginning, you'll go to faylib.org and click on eBooks and More and select OverDrive. And you're going to be asked to sign in with your library card, just like you are in the apps. Browsing and searching works just the same as the apps. But one thing is, if you know you want to read on a Kindle, you'll want to limit the search results to Kindle. That's going to be on the left-hand side of the screen. That way you don't get your heart set on a book and then find out that it's only in EPUB and not as a Kindle book. There's only a handful in there, but that's happened to me before where I get all excited and I want to read it and it's available and then I'm like, oh, that's a format that doesn't work for me. So it's good to check on that before you get excited. So it's nice to limit your search. And so you'll borrow in OverDrive and select the Read in Kindle button, and you're going to be rerouted to Amazon. You'll sign into your Amazon account. So if you're doing this, you're going to want to make sure you have your email address and the password that you use to sign into your Amazon account. And you're going to send the book to your Kindle the same way you would if you were to purchase a Kindle book. There's a little button that pops up that says Get Library Book. You'll select that and you'll get a confirmation screen. And if you have wireless or 3G or 4G on your Kindle, which I believe most of them do now, I have a pretty old Kindle and it still has Wi-Fi on it. It'll just come in that way. Some of the older Kindles, or if you just don't want to use Wi-Fi, you can plug your Kindle into your computer, download the file from Amazon, and then manually move the file onto your Kindle reader. So that's an option as well. So if you're in the app and you want to read and listen, you can do it in your browser from your computer. And that's really easy too. You can do it right from your browser. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to use an app. You would just start by borrowing a book like we've talked about, like you normally would. And when you go to your bookshelf on the website, you're going to see a button that says Read in Browser. And you're just going to select that. And the browser will keep your place in an ebook and an audiobook. So that's really convenient if you don't mind sitting at your computer to read. but you're not able to download to read offline. So if you're on a laptop and you're taking it with you and you want to read your ebook around town, unfortunately, you'd have to be on wireless internet to be able to read your book. Okay, and so another option you have, particularly for audiobooks, is downloading to your computer and moving to an MP3 player. So you do need an extra piece of software to be able to do this. You download OverDrive for Windows or OverDrive for Apple, whichever applies to your particular situation. And you start this process from the OverDrive help website. It just takes a few minutes to download that extra piece of software. And then once the program is downloaded, you can check out ebooks, and they can be downloaded for listening when your computer is offline. So you can listen to them right from your computer if you've downloaded that extra piece of software online. Or more typically, you would transfer them over to your MP3 player. And typically you would do that also with a cord and move those files over. Another neat thing about ebooks and audiobooks is from the library's catalog, you can check books out right from there. So that's at faylib.org. You'll just search like you would search if you were looking for a physical item, type in the name of what you're looking for. And if you find an item that says electronic resource after the title, you'll look for an icon to see if it's an OverDrive item. We also have another service that's called Cloud Library. It works very similarly, but if you only have the OverDrive or the Libby app and you don't want to download the Cloud Library app, I would stick to items that we own through OverDrive. And so that's that symbol that's there on the screen. It's a big O inside a blue square. And from right there, you can place a hold. If that item was an item that was currently in, you'd be able to click on check out. So to do this, you would have to already be logged in to your account at faylib.org. But after you've done that, you'll be able to check out ebooks, audiobooks right from there. And once you've done that, it's going to send it right to your app without you having to take any more steps. So that's pretty neat. This is a slide that says what I already talked about. To check out or place a hold, simply click on the corresponding button. So place a hold on this screen. You'll be prompted, if you're not already signed in, you're going to be prompted to enter your library card number and your PIN, the last four of your phone number. And then this item will appear on your bookshelf, and if it was checked out, and on your holds list if a hold was placed. And then this is what your loan screen is going to look like. So if you go to loans, it'll show you what you have checked out, and it shows you also there at the top how much longer you have with that item. So both of those books I must have checked out on the same day, and they're due in 6 days. You'll see there at the bottom is the return button. So if you want to return a book early just because you're done with it, you want to be friendly to the people behind you on the holds list, you can do that. Or if you have another few books that you want to get checked out and reading, you can return, and that way you'll have more slots on your list to check out items. And then this is your holds page. So this is going to be all the books that you want to check out, but someone else has them right now. You can only have up to 5 of these at a time, but you'll see I have lots of options from there. It tells me what day I place the hold, how long it might be before the hold is in, how many copies of the book we have, how many people are ahead of me on the holds list. I can also suspend my hold or simply remove it from there. So if I was to select suspend hold, that would allow me to choose a date on the calendar when I wanted to receive that book. So if I knew I was going to go out of town, or I'm doing something, I'm going to be super busy for the next 2 weeks, I could suspend all my holds for a couple of weeks And then once the date comes that they're not suspended anymore, I'm going to have my same spot on the holds list. And if I'm at the top, I'll be the next person to receive the book. All right, so if you have any questions, the Fayetteville Public Library librarians are so happy to help you at the reference desk. You can give us a call. Our phone number is 479-856-7250. You can send us an email at questions@faylib.org. And another thing we have is a consultation service called Book a Librarian, and you can fill out a short form at faylib.org/book, and it's just going to ask for your contact information and what you're needing help with. And so right now we're not meeting with patrons in person for consultations, but we'd be happy to meet with you over the phone or on a digital platform to get you walked through downloading an app to read an ebook or anything else you might need help with. So thank you so much for watching today and have a wonderful day. Bye.